Hey guys, welcome to Coffee Combos. Hi, Lindsay.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, just going with the waves of chaos,
I feel like I haven't seen you in forever, but it's really been like 2 weeks.
Honestly, I can't get my shit together these past 2 weeks. Like, full on, cannot get it together. The other night, I was cooking. My friend was visiting from Texas, and we were making tacos. And I shattered a glass. I went to go take it out of the something out of the cabinet, and I just shattered a glass. And then that came off the heels of me breaking glass upstairs in my bathroom, walking on it, and not realizing I was bleeding all over the bathroom floor until I sat down and did my makeup. Yeah. And I got a $214 ticket because my dogs ran away again.
$214 for what?
Because my dogs ran away.
They give tickets for runaway dogs?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's a scam.
So that's a scam. Well, I think it's because it's irresponsible. However, when I tell you that I spent thousands of dollars on my fence, I spent thousands of dollars on my fence, but my Rottweiler will jump up and release the latch so that the gate pushes open. And I can't lock it because I have my landscapers that come in and out to mow the lawn and stuff. And everyone's like, oh, we'll just give them a key. Okay, but it's not the same crew every time. And so it
Correct.
is more of a pain in the ass. So I can't give everybody a key, number one, not that I would even want to. But number two, I really don't want them to have a key anyway. So I'm like, what is the alternative here? But anyway.
Anyway, moving on.
How was your week? How have you been since I've seen you? How was Mexico?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say, for all the people that send us messages on the Instagram, I noticed a few people had left in the comments, you guys probably won't ever read this or whatever. And you're wrong, because we do read them and appreciate every message that is sent. But I just wanted to take a minute to just read one of these messages that we got, because we get these so often and they don't go unnoticed. So I just want to thank you guys for being awesome. But this was the message. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you, ladies. Listening to your podcast has made me laugh, cry, smile, and also get angry. I love how you are both opposite and that you bring the best of both worlds to the podcast. As I'm getting ready to be apart from my husband for 2 years, as he is in the military and he is leaving, I can't go with him. Your podcast gives me something to look forward to. I love getting to hear the truth from you, as the shows don't do that. Thank you for helping me feel as though I can get through these 2 years and I'm getting my confidence back as a woman. I never felt good enough, as I don't have many close girlfriends, and being far from my family, I feel like listening to women that get me makes me feel good. I feel like listening to you, I'm not alone in the struggles. Thank you for an amazing podcast. You both are such role models and amazing women in all you do. I love you both. So
I love that.
First of all, I don't want to mention this woman's name or call her out. She didn't ask me to not do that, but we get messages like that all the time, and it just makes me feel good, and I don't know how it makes you feel, but just to know that we kind of have created a community to where, people feel safe and, want to share their struggles, and that we can kind of be real on here. So I don't know. It just makes me feel good.
I love that. I think that's great, because I think what you don't see on the shows that we've been a part of and on other platforms is we are so different, but I have never felt judged by Lindsay as far as, we joke about stuff, but parenting wise, even the non-vax vax or schedules or whatever the case is, I've never felt judged by Lindsay by that at all, the way we parent or anything like that. And I don't really judge anybody that writes into us and talks about, what they do for parenting or whatever. So I love that. I love that we can come on here and I don't feel like there's mom shamers at all.
Yeah, because you have your mom shamers on Instagram, and that's just going to be there always. But I feel like for the most part, it's really doesn't exist with this podcast, and it feels good, and it feels good for people to be able to go on the comments and to be able to voice their opinions. And like, I respect other people's opinions, even if they don't agree with what I'm doing. I still respect what they have to say, because everybody's entitled to an opinion. Doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to listen to that opinion and, you know, do it, but I'm reading it and I'm like, okay, yeah, I kind of get it.
Right. Yeah. Love it.
So anyhow, I kind of wanted to catch up with you about the Teen Mom finale. What's going on?
Oh my God. Okay.
Spill
I have a lot to say,
the
so
beans.
get ready. Okay. So I wasn't going to go to the reunion, and I want to be able to just clarify everything from my own mouth and not twisted words and articles or anything like that. I did not want to go, one, because every single year they are a clusterfuck. Every single year, even prior to me and Brianna fighting or me and Janelle bullshit, like, they've always been a clusterfuck. This year, it was literally the same week, and we had not had a schedule yet. So first, I get a call saying, let me backtrack. I didn't want to be in the same vicinity as David, specifically, and Brianna and her family. I'm not afraid of Brianna and her family. I just don't want to be around people like that. And then for David, I am truly scared for my safety, period, point blank. That's what it is. So I made that very clear, and they were trying to accommodate that. So, you know, obviously I'm thankful. And they basically called and said I would be Skyping into the reunion with Brianna and Janelle. Like, we would all be Skyping from different cities. Janelle would be in Philly, Brianna would be in New York, and I would be in Jersey. And then Leah and Chelsea would sit on the couch. So at that point, I'm arguing because I don't want to not go to the reunion. Like, it's annoying and it's frustrating, but like, if this is what it's going to be, then I should be able to sit on the couch with Chelsea and Leah, because I'm friends with them and I've never had beef with them. So why should I have to sit out? Yeah, I take full responsibility for what the fuck I did last year with Brianna, but at the same time, I did do it behind closed doors, and I didn't need an audience, and I didn't, you know what I mean? And it was just one-on-one, me and Brianna. It wasn't everyone else.
Right. So
then they're like, okay, you can sit on the couch with Chelsea and Leah. Okay, cool. Well, I don't know if Brianna didn't like that or whatever the case was, but then she got pissed, and so then they were like, I'm not really sure why. I don't know why she got mad. I'm just assuming that's why. So they were like, forget the Skypes. We're not going to do that at all. So I was like, okay. So now I'm confused again. They said this is all 7 days prior and less than that. So then they're like, oh, we're going to scrap the Skyping in, and we're just going to do everybody alone. So I'm like, okay, that's fine too. So I go in, first I say, okay, that's fine. But if we're going to do this, I'm going to give everyone in the audience on my day free pothead, because, you know, it wouldn't be possible for me to even have the pothead if it wasn't for MTV. So everyone in the audience gets it. Cool. So they overnight it for me, and they get the pothead there. I go on set, and then they're like, okay, like, you're going to do a segment with Leah. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm excited. I haven't seen Leah. I'm going to see her in a couple weeks in Costa Rica, but like, this is cool. So I don't cross paths with anybody else. I think Chelsea flies in the day after I get there, which is fine, but, you know, it sucks I didn't get to see her. And they do a segment with me and Leah, Ask the Moms. That was cool. And then they did a second segment with us, showing like the kids package of the kids interacting with the crew, which I'm pretty sure they've done it in the past. And, you know, they've showed my kids. And halfway through the segment, now, mind you, V is backstage because I already did my segment with V. She was trying to wait for me.
Right.
And I have my mic on. We all have our mics on. So halfway through, they're showing this package of all the kids interacting with the crew and just like filming and just being funny and cute. And, you know, Leah's laughing and I'm laughing, but I'm like, where are my kids?
Right.
They're not there. They're not there. So now at this point, my head is back and I'm fighting back tears. Why? I don't know. It was just overwhelming emotion. So now the book closes, and I'm like, where the fuck are my kids? My kids were completely cut out of this entire segment. And I know that it sounds like I'm whining and bitching and it's not that big of a deal, but when I'm sitting on my couch and I'm baited into conversations that I don't want to have, and by baited, I mean, you know, I'll be trying to plan my son's birthday party, but they're like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and, you know, plan your son's birthday party. But in the meantime, you know, talk about give us an update on Chris. Or, you know, they sneak these things in about Chris, or they sneak these things in about Javi and Lauren.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't even want to have these conversations. I mean, if you look back to Lincoln's birthday party, it's completely about Chris. It was never about Lincoln. So I'm bending over backwards, essentially, or being baited into conversations that I don't want to have. And you guys can't even show that despite the fact that I have 3 baby dads, and despite the fact that I do make shitty decisions sometimes, my kids are happy, healthy, and thriving, and my kids interact with the crew just as much as everybody else's kids. So now I'm pissed. My feelings are hurt, and I'm pissed because my kids are completely cut out. There wasn't even one segment of them.
Yeah, and I'm kind of confused by that because I feel like, you know, when you text me that and said that you were crying, I was so confused because they knew that your kids weren't in the footage. So why would they have even had you on stage during that part?
Right. That's the other question I had. And then one of the producers comes up to me, mics are still on. And now I'm embarrassed because I've had this reaction, but it was a natural, like I couldn't help it. Like the fact that you guys completely just didn't include my children. So he comes up to me and I'm like, with Nessa, and Leah's on my right, Nessa's on my left. And I'm like, we don't have to have this conversation in front of the audience. And he goes, no, it's fine. So they turn the music up, but my mic is still on. So I'm like, so he continues, he goes, with the mics on, we just didn't have any footage of them with the crew. Okay, well, that's a problem within itself because now you guys are having me on stage looking a damn fool because I'm fighting back these emotions that are natural and not okay. But now you're telling me that you don't even have footage of my kids interacting with the crew, which shows that there's a fucking problem with the production because somehow everyone else has footage of their kids, but mine don't. One, probably because you guys just don't film it. It's not a thing. You guys are so worried about whatever it is you want to get. You're in and out that nobody's filming my kids. And one of the security guards even said, you know, that he agreed it wasn't right because he interacts with, like, they always play fucking Avengers and shit outside. Like if we're having an adult conversation, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So that hurts. That fucking hurts. Especially because Lincoln is so funny and Isaac and Lincoln together are so funny. And then Lux, you know, like just the dynamic of it all. And it hurts. I felt like a smack in the face. So
I think
I just felt like
other moms can relate, you know, because even though it's not about the TV aspect of it, but just take that whole part of it out. If you ever feel like your child's being left out of something, the natural reaction as a mother is to be defensive upset. And be upset.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So to expect another reaction from that, like, I don't know what another reaction would be, you know, I mean.
Well, so then I was talking to V when I got off, because I walked off stage. At that point, I just walked off because I'm not being heard. And this comes off the heels of, Lindsay, the last 2 to 3 months, nothing has been filmed. Like, they don't film me doing real mom shit. They don't film my real life stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before, like, I'm supposed to be building a house and, you know, the whole drive there. First of all, did I talk about this on the podcast?
No, you didn't talk about this before.
So I'm supposed to be building a house and I have set up so that they're going to film my first meeting to go look at like the blueprints and like X out anything I don't want, make sure everything is like final for what I like. I wake up and I'm calling to see like where the cameras are at. They are not coming anymore. Like it was set that they were coming and then they wait until the morning of that I'm on my way to the meeting and they're not coming. Okay, cool. So now I'm pissed off, but I'm already stressed out because I'm like, I could not make it work with any of my kids' fathers enough for me to be building a house with one of them. And so like on one hand, I'm so proud of myself that I'm able to do this. But on the other hand, I'm sad. Like it's kind of sad. So that right there could have been the season finale, to be perfectly honest with you, but they didn't give a fuck. They also didn't care to film my birthday party that they knew about, I guess, for a month.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's a little bit crazy, too, just like that they don't want the drama, supposedly, you know, quote unquote, don't want the drama between the cast. But yet, literally every time there's been drama, like the pothead being on fire or the thing that Barbara said on Instagram Live about killing you or, you know, whatever. Every bit of that has made the show.
Right. So one thing I've learned over the years is that it's hard to be a person. That might sound crazy, but even under the best circumstances, life is so stressful and chaotic, and sometimes it's just really difficult.
That's one of the reasons why we wanted to talk to you about BetterHelp, which is an online counseling service where you can talk to a therapist from the privacy of your own home or wherever you are. Some people might be shy to go to a therapist, and sometimes it's just not feasible with your schedule or budget, but BetterHelp wanted to make therapy accessible to everyone. BetterHelp lets you get help on your own time at your own pace.
They have counselors to choose from who specialize in grief, sleep, self-esteem, stress, depression, and tons more. You can communicate with your counselor via text, phone, video, or chat whenever you're most comfortable.
Best of all, it is truly an affordable option. Coffee Convos listeners gets 10% off your first month with the discount code COFFEE, so why not get started today? Go to betterhelp.com/coffee. Simply fill out a questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get matched with a counselor that you'll love. It's betterhelp.com/coffee.
Oh, wait a minute. Time out. I forgot. Let me backtrack. So there's a segment in the reunion of me and Javi, and oh my gosh, I can't even gather my thoughts. Okay. There's a segment on the reunion of me and Javi, and there's a segment on the reunion of me and V. And a lot of the segments were about why can't I have a relationship with Lauren like I have with V? And I'm going to tell you why. V and I grew up together. Like, that's what it is. I became a mom and I had to kind of navigate those feelings. No, did I want Joe? No, I didn't. But I also didn't want anyone else to have him. But I was 18 years old, right? So everyone's like, oh, like you got onto her about smoking pot and you got onto her about you didn't trust her and this and that and the third. And I'm like, well, okay, you're right. But I was 18, 19 years old. I needed to grow the fuck up. I was immature. I had never seen co-parenting before. I didn't know what the fuck that was. So I didn't understand it. It was just like a lot of learning and trying to figure things out, right? So once V and I figured it out, it's great. Like we get along, we can hang out, we can get the kids together. She can tell me when, she feels a certain type of way and vice versa. So that's why it's different. Tell me how my entire season and a lot of Javi and Lauren is in my segment, but nobody talks about the fact that Leah and Miranda don't talk.
Yeah.
They don't make anybody's segments about that. I mean, maybe back when it was all happening, they did maybe like one season, but now we're going on a second season of Javi is heavily part of my story. And then Nessa sat there, and I'm sure it was not just her saying this, like she's got an earpiece in or whatever. I'm annoyed because she kept trying to force the fact that Lauren is a part of my life. Okay, yeah, she is very, very, very minimally a part of my life. Very minimally. I have nothing to do with Lauren and Eli. I need to co-parent with Javi for Lincoln. Yes, Eli is Lincoln's sibling, and I always talk him up. Oh, did you help, take care of your baby brother? Oh, did you play with your baby brother this weekend? Are you excited to go back to Daddy's and see your brother and Lauren? I don't need to communicate with her, and I constantly feel like I'm being pressured and forced from the show and from people to talk about them when they're not part of my life. I cannot have a problem with her and just understand that she's a part of, the story and just leave it at that. I don't need to talk to her. I don't need to be a part of her everyday life. We don't need to do that.
Well, and I'm going to piggyback off of that point that you just made, because there was a picture of Javi, Lauren, Eli, a few other people that I didn't know in the photo, and Isaac and Lincoln from Orlando. And that's the first time.
I must have not seen this.
That's the first time I've seen them in a picture like that with Javi in a long time. So when I saw it, I was kind of shocked, and I was like, oh, wow, Kale and I didn't even talk about this. So I was, kind of shocked seeing it. And then I commented and was like, I love seeing Isaac and Lincoln together. I know they're together with you all the time, but they're not together with Javi. And so that's what I meant by that. And there was a few people that went on there and was like, well, why did you leave Eli out or whatever? It was nothing about leaving Eli out. It's just the fact of he wasn't part of the equation whenever y'all were married. And Isaac did have a very good relationship with Javi. And I feel like that's been hard to kind of navigate since Javi has gotten into a serious relationship. So, just seeing that picture with him with the boys, I was like, oh, that's nice to see. And it wasn't any jab like at anybody.
Right.
So
yeah, no, they want to make it something that it's not. And it's frustrating because the relationship between me and B will just never, the relationship with me and Lauren will never be what it is with me and V. Like I said, V and I have been in each other's lives for going on 10 years. Like, and we grew up we were all trying to figure out the parenting, co-parenting, new girlfriend, new boyfriend thing for a while. We were young. So, but this is, and not for nothing, but it just, first impressions are a lot. And when she's calling me a twat, this, that, and the third, right off the bat, you never met me, you don't know me. And, then Javi's little hookup triangle or whatever the fuck it is. And, I do know that Javi and Lauren tried to date a long time ago, and she did some foul shit that I don't approve of. And it wasn't my business, but at the time it was more like, that is my ex-husband and don't do him dirty. Like, I'm the only one that can talk shit or, I did him dirty. Now I feel like it's my job to protect him. And so, like, I don't know. It was just a lot of bullshit. I feel like my feelings were hurt. And, I committed to going the day before I was recording. And I just kind of feel like a lot of it was a smack in the face. I think overall the production side of it, as far as planning goes, I definitely think that it went a lot smoother, a lot quicker, to do us all on separate days. And it was nice to see Leah. I did get to see Leah and her sister, so that was good. And then I'm trying to think what else happened. I don't know anything that happened in Chelsea's segment. I don't know anything that happened in Leah's segment. But did you see the pictures of Leah and Jeremy?
I did.
I commented on that and was like, I won't be mad if y'all get back together.
Okay, but I've been saying that since like we podcasted
Forever.
with Leah the first time, but I also was thinking it like before we ever podcasted with her. I don't know. There's just like something about them that I'm just like, they're supposed to be together or something. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't see it with Corey. I don't see it with this Jason or whatever his name is.
No, they broke up.
I don't see it with them. But when I see her with Jeremy, it's different. I don't know really how to describe it, but yes, I did see the pictures and I loved them and I like them together a lot. So maybe Leah will be listening to this and she'll be like, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I hope so. Because I definitely am rooting for them for sure.
Me too. Okay, y'all, let's get real. Body hair is a reality and shaving is such a hassle, and it feels like the men get all the good shaving products until now because there is Flamingo.
The Flamingo team interviewed thousands of women about their body care routines and designed products based on what they learned. They were tired of women getting the short end of the shaving stick.
Since shaving is a fact of life, you might as well enjoy it, and Flamingo designed a shave set that makes us so happy. It's a $22 value, but you get it for just $16 and it ships free. The shave set is your end-to-end routine in one reusable pouch. Gel, the razor, extra blade, lotion, and a holder so it doesn't get lost in your shower. Also, it's 2019, so it's obviously all cruelty and paraben free.
I love Flamingo because it's super sleek. It's very appealing to the eye and it works great. I love the close shave. It's definitely comparable to like a men's close shave. So I love that.
I also love Flamingo. I just think the colors of the razor are just so cute. The shave, the first time I used it, I was like, wow, I've been doing things all wrong. So if you guys would like to get a set with all your shave essentials from Flamingo, the brand that Vogue and Glamour are talking about, it's a $22 value for just $16 plus free shipping today when you visit shopflamingo.com/coffee. That's shopflamingo.com/coffee. In other news though, I wanted to follow up on, the moms that responded about their kids going to kindergarten. We had talked about it a few episodes ago, and there was one mom that sent a message that I really related to. She said, "Hi girls, I just wanted to share that my little girl will also be starting kindergarten this year, and I know I will be a hot mess. I know that because I already was a hot mess this year when she started pre-K, and it was only for 3 hours a day for 4 days per week. So I was sobbing and hugging her bye when she was so excited and looked at me like I was a crazy person. What you're going through is perfectly normal, and just know that you're not alone. I love this week's podcast and listening to you guys always. So I definitely love hearing from the moms that are like on the same journey as us, you know, like doing the exact same things. We're all, you know, sending our kids to kindergarten. And I feel like it is such a huge life step. And probably the moms that are listening to this that have already sent their kids to kindergarten or have high schoolers or, you know, whatever it may be, you're probably like, honey, y'all just need to chill out because it's just kindergarten. But truly, I feel like it's going to be so hard, and it's only a few months away, and it just seems like such a big life step to me, and I don't know why.
It is, but I think, I mean, I'm not going to say that people with multiple kids don't cry about it, but I think especially when you have an only child, it's even more emotional.
Yeah, because you're doing it like one time and you don't know if you'll do it again. That's like how I feel.
Right. Well, and you're used to, you know, spending your entire day or most of your day after they get out of school with, you know, your little one. So, I remember I definitely shed a tear when I sent Isaac off to kindergarten, but I don't think it was a sob fest for me because I had Lincoln to take care of.
Right. So your mind kind of is in a different headspace, but it really hit home yesterday to me because we went to the public library after school, and we kind of do it pretty often. I try to take Jackson at least once every other week to the library, and he does like ABC Mouse, and just kind of good for him to get in there. Even if he can't read all the words in a book, he's at least looking at the books, and he colors and, you know, talks to other kids that he's not in school with. But our public library is right across the street from the elementary school. And when we were leaving, it was probably about 2:00, and he saw the kids that were playing on the playground. And he was like, wow, Mom, they're at school really late. And I said, yeah, buddy, like next year when you go to kindergarten, you're going to be at school the same amount of time as those kids are. You'll be at school until like almost 3:00. And he was like, wow, that's a really long time. And you don't really realize like the time with your kids are so precious, and you're just going through life daily and you feel like the days are long, but the years really are short. And that is,
they really are
so true. Like I feel like our kids just turned, you know, a year old, and now you look up and they're 6 years old. And to me, it's just so sad. And I'm just like, oh, I can't do this. Like I can't do this alone. And I cry every single year. So I'm definitely with the mom that sent the message. Every year that Jackson's gone to quote unquote school, I cry knowing that I'm going to be picking him up in like what feels like 30 minutes because you get nothing accomplished during the short amount of time that they're there. Another mom also sent a question for us, saying that, you know, she has an only child, and would we suggest doing Mother's Day Out program? She doesn't let
what is that?
She doesn't let her kid stay with anybody but her, and the kid doesn't have interaction with any other children. And so MMO programs, I feel like, are great. A lot of churches do them. It's basically just like a 3-hour program for moms who don't know what MMO is. It's like a 3-hour program. Some churches do it for free, and then a lot of churches have now moved to kind of like a tuition structure for that. Normally you start around like 18 months, and I think it goes up to 2. And then after that, it's considered preschool. So I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Is it like a daily thing, or it's like what is it?
No. So I think back whenever like we were growing up, Will's mom told me that she used to like drop her boys off at MMO, but I think it was just like a 1 time a week thing. And it was just enough time for her to go and like get groceries and stuff. And she, you know, she had 3, so it was good.
Oh, they do a ton of stuff like that around here. Like there's just like, I know at Lincoln's and Lux's school, they do I want to say it's like, I don't know which day it is of the week. I know it's a Friday or a Saturday, and it's like once a month. They do like a movie night where like the kids get snacks and movie, and I think they might get pizza or popcorn or something. And it's like 3 or 4 hours, and they get to play with the kids, and like the parents go out. Is that kind of what you're describing?
Yeah, but this is more like it's like that where you leave them and you're not there, but it's more like a structured thing, like more like how a preschool class would be. You know what I mean? So
like
like during day hours, during the week, it would be like enough time for a mom to go to like an appointment or get groceries or something like that. And I don't know if MMO is...
It couldn't hurt. I don't think that would hurt. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I don't know if it's popular like everywhere or if everyone knows about it. So if you're listening and you don't know about Mother's Morning Out, let me know, because I don't know if it's like a thing in the South
not a thing here.
or what, but it definitely is a thing here. And I would just say that Jackson did Mother's Morning Out, or what it was considered, but his was like a tuition type thing, you know, so I had to pay for it, but it's where he started. So I definitely went through the journey of feeling this exact same way. Like, do I want to put him, you know, somewhere? And because he didn't have a sibling and he wasn't getting that type of play every day with like other kids his same age, I felt like for his development, it was super important for him to go and just have that interaction with somebody 2 times a week. And a mom had asked like for me to explain, I talked about on the podcast a few weeks ago about 2-day 2s, 3-day 3s. So the way that my preschool does it is, and a lot that I know of, is the recommended schedule is for a 2-year-old to go 2 days, a 3-year-old to go 3 days, a 4-year-old to go 4 days, and a 5-year-old starts 5-day. So that's the schedule that I went off of. It worked perfect for us. It might not be for everybody. And obviously, you know, moms that are working outside of the home, it's not really realistic. So that worked for us. And I think it's super important for your kids to have that interaction with other kids, because I feel like they learn so much from kids.
Yeah. No, I think it's super important. This preschool that my kids go to, they offer that.
They do offer that?
But we didn't do it that way. Yeah, but I just waited until Lux was 18 months, and then I put him in for the 4 days, but he goes until Lincoln goes, because it doesn't make sense for me to, they go to the same school. So it doesn't make sense for me to go pick him up at 12 and then go back again at 3:00 and pick up Lincoln. So they just go for the same amount of time. Yeah,
that would literally make no sense for you to go and do that whole schedule on 2 different schedules, for sure. I don't know about you guys, but I am always torn between wanting to look great, but wanting to feel comfortable, and especially when I need to look professional. I know a lot of you working women know this feeling.
Luckily, BetaBrand has the most amazing dress pant yoga pants that look like chic work pants, but you'll feel like you're wearing yoga pants. Whoever came up with these is a genius. I love these, especially when I'm traveling on the go and I have to get on a plane, but I have to look professional. These are the way to go.
Definitely. I always pack these in my suitcase just in case, because I feel like they never fail me, and they're just cute and comfortable. They have all different fits from skinny to wide leg, and they come in lots of colors, including seasonal styles. So there's something for everyone. They are perfect for church, work, and meetings, wherever you might be going, where you want to look your best and comfortable. And they are great for travel because they pack really well too.
So this is why we started wearing BetaBrand's dress pant yoga pants. Visit BetaBrand.com and use our code COFFEE to get 20% off yours. Millions of women agree these are the most comfortable pants you'll ever wear to work. That's BetaBrand.com, BetaBrand.com. Use our code COFFEE to get 20% off your dress pant yoga pants.
And then I wanted to do one more follow-up, and honestly, you guys, the amount of messages that we received about molluscum was...
Oh, yeah. I got them to my personal account.
Yeah. My whole inbox and my personal account was full. The whole inbox and the podcast account was full, and you got personal ones. So
yep.
Obviously it is very common. The response, like I said, was unreal. It made me feel comfortable knowing that other families could relate to how I felt that I described on the podcast a few weeks ago of feeling scared and like not knowing what it is. It just made me feel good not to know that other kids had it, but I got so many responses for like advice on what to do, and people saying that like the treatment didn't work for their kid and how their kid had it for like 4 years. Some people said their kid had it for a year. People told me to put tea tree oil on it. Somebody told me that it sounds insane, but to put duct tape on it and it'll literally, I guess, suffocate the virus and it would kill it. So many different things, and pictures of kids that had severe cases, pictures of kids that had a case more like Jackson. From what I could gather from the moms that have experienced it, though, a lot of people said that their child got it from public swimming pools, public towels, sports moms saying it, that, you know, kids getting it from helmet use, hat sharing, things like that. So definitely could be where Jackson picked it up. Baseball, definitely, you know, we swim at our neighborhood pool. When we go to the beach, you know, we swim at pools that other people swim in. So I'm not 100% sure where he got it or like when it started, but just be mindful, you know, if you can take precautions to prevent. I know it's crazy to say because you obviously can't prevent like the water in the pool, but you can maybe prevent like the towel use by bringing your own towel. And then I am really weird about baseball hats and stuff like that. So I hate the kids sharing hats, but it's not just baseball hats. Like I had the conversation with Jackson, like if somebody has a brush at school, don't use it. If somebody has chapstick at school, don't use it. Because I feel like, I don't know if you feel like this, but Jackson and Lincoln's age, I feel like that's the age that they kind of start getting like a group of friends that they play with pretty often and regularly in their class. Mm-hmm. And that's when they start sharing stuff. Yeah.
Yep. So but it's like, nah, maybe don't do that.
Yeah. Like, please don't share your chapstick and like all that. Like, please, I'm just begging you, please don't do it.
Yeah.
Can you tell me and everybody else that's listening about you stubbing your toes? Because I feel like we had this conversation the same time roughly last year.
Yes, because it was right before Jamaica. Yes, you're right. It's like pretty much the same time. Okay. So a couple of days ago, I stubbed the fuck out of my left toe, my left big toe, and like pretty much it got, the nail broke down to the quick. So it was looking a hot ass mess and it's ugly. So it's so fucking ugly. I could explain that. You know what I mean? So then maybe 2 to 3 days later, I stub the other one. Actually, it was coming home from the reunion. I was leaving the hotel and it was a pull, or what was it? It was a pull door and not a push door. So whatever. I stubbed it on the door and breaks down to the quick and it's bleeding. So I'm like, fuck. And now they're both ugly. They look like I have half toenails on both my big toes. I'm embarrassed because I don't want to wear sandals. Yesterday when the kids got home from school, I took them outside and freaking Lux stepped on the most recent one, which is my right big toe, and made it bleed again. So I'm like, do I get fake toenails on these? Because I can't wear sandals like this. Like this is, 1, it's ugly. 2, it's just ugly. And I can't. They're ugly.
Okay.
I'm looking at them right now.
Had this exact conversation last year, and I don't know what it is with you breaking toenails, but you're like a bull in a china shop. And I just don't get it. Like, and it's always the big toes. Like, why can't it be like a pinky or something that doesn't matter?
Right, because then it wouldn't be as noticeable. But my big toes, people are probably like, ew, does her toes look like that all the time?
So let me just ask, have you gone to get a pedicure yet, or you're trying to let like the wound heal?
So my left one didn't bleed. It did rip down to the quick, but my right one bled. So I don't want to go get a pedicure until
it's like
the
clean.
Wound correct, because I don't want to get an infection, but I also don't want to give anyone an infection. So I idea was to just wait a few days, let it heal up a little bit, and let the scab go away, and then go.
Well, I'm praying for your toenails, but I promise you, if I come to Dallas when we record and you're wearing high socks and tennis shoes, I'm canceling.
I'm going to be honest with you. That's what I've been doing until on Saturday. I hung out with my friends. They came over to the house and we made tacos and stuff because I said my friend from Texas was visiting. And I basically just told them, like, I called myself out. I was like, listen, guys, I'm going to wear sandals. Don't look at my feet, because I didn't want them to look at them and think something to themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I mean, don't you ever feel like, okay, I would rather just like address this than somebody like assume something?
Right. I didn't want them to think my toes look like this all the time. Like, I don't have ugly toenails. I don't. So I was like, listen, I'm going to wear my Moses 13s, which are my Birkenstocks. And I'm going to wear these. And my toes are fucked up right now. They don't always look like this. Please don't judge.
Oh, my God.
So that's my life right now. I don't even know what is going on with me, but I'm going to get my toenails back.
Well, I'm praying for the return of your toenails. I really am.
Thank you.
And
hopefully they'll be back by Dallas.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping. So I was going to tell you about my spring break.
Yes, let's hear it.
First of all, it was so much fun. I feel like it was pretty drama-free. We definitely planned it out well enough in advance and kind of like had travel plans and everything well planned out. So there was no like scurrying around day of, which was super nice. Flew into Mexico. Weather was perfect. Took Jackson to do the dolphins, but he didn't know that he was going to get to do it. So it was a surprise. And we had to go off property to do that. And so obviously I'm a little bit scared because, as most people know, if you watch the news at all, they say like the travel to Mexico is like no bueno for U.S. residents. So I'm like, okay, I don't know about going off property. Like, we probably need to get like a private car to go. And they're like, no, it's perfectly safe. So I'm like, okay, wonderful. So I asked the people, like, how much is it? I don't want to like pay for this one thing if he's not big enough to do it, and then like have to get a refund and like all this stuff. So let's just like figure it out. So we figure it out at the resort, and I'm like, okay, $300 doesn't sound too bad. So I'm like, okay, we're going to do it. So we go to do it. Well, I'm thinking, you know, okay, we'll get pictures. That'll probably be like another like $60 and have lunch. It'll be fine. No, we get there. Literally, the pictures were as much as what swimming with the dolphins were.
No. Fuck no. Nope. Guess what? Taking my iPhone.
They won't let you. And they're like, it's the craziest thing. So you go there to swim, right? And you have to go and check in. Mm-hmm. They give you like this wristband and stuff, and they like mark all these things on the wristband. So they know like what adventure you're going on, blah, blah, blah. And then not until the end do they tell you, would you like the picture pack? And he's like, if you get this pack, it's like $40 per image. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of reasonable. Like, I really only want like a family image and an image with Jackson, because Will and I have already done it. So we don't really need, you know, the pictures of it. So I'm like, okay, sure, $80, like whatever. No. It doesn't work like that. In order to get a family picture, you have to buy the large package, which is $240.
No.
Guess what I did?
Absolutely the fuck not. What did you do?
So the man like keeps trying to like negotiate with me, and I'm like, he wants to negotiate with me, but doesn't want to let me negotiate with him. And I'm like, no, honey, like negotiating is a two-way street. Like, you don't get to like tell me what you can give me. Like, you're offering me an upgraded adventure that my kid can't go on. And you know he can't go on because he's not big enough. So that's not a negotiation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're offering me something that I can't do. So that's just a scam. Like, no, thanks. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. So he's like, okay, well, you have enough time. If you want to do it, change your mind, come back, whatever. I'm like, okay, sounds great. You're never going to see me again. So I go outside and I see all these like kiosks outside where you like line up for the lockers and stuff like that to put all your shit. And there's this nice little boy, like probably looked like he was like 18 years old. And I stopped by and I'm like, hey, do you habla inglés? And he's like, yes. And so I'm like, hey, how much is it for me to do a package to get a picture of my family and a picture of my little guy? And he's like, oh, 170. And I'm like, okay, at this point, this is a joke because the dude inside just told me $240. You just told me $170. Like, what is the fucking price?
And what did they say?
Oh, I ended up paying $170 for it. And the guy kept telling me that the guy that was inside that told me $240, he kept telling me, oh, these are great images. It's a professional. No. It's this, it's that. And I'm like, trying to explain to him, and Will's so irritated. He's like, just pay the money, like whatever. And I'm like, no, it's just like the principle of it. Like, first of all, it's not a professional image. Just because you have a fucking Canon doesn't mean you're a professional. Like, I have a Canon too. And like, I'm not a professional.
Same. I have one. I don't even know how to work it, but
yeah. And I'm just like, this is so stupid. So I ended up paying $170 for the pictures. And then, okay, so we went to this other restaurant, like after we got finished doing our adventure. And I guess like the food was like a part of our adventure. So like going to the restaurant was like part of it. So the only thing that they charge you additional for is like drinks. So on the way back when we were in the taxi, I had gone to like check out the pictures and stuff where I was super disappointed, by the way, in case anybody cares.
Oh, good. Great.
I go and check out that, and Will is left being responsible for paying for the drinks. And I'm like, he really can't fuck it up. Like, it's paying for like 2 Cokes and a Sprite. Like, it's not that big of a deal. So we get back in the van and we're going back, and he's like, it's 100 pesos or whatever. And I was like, 100 pesos? Because I didn't know like the conversion rate, you know, so it sounded like a lot of money. I was like, you paid 100 pesos for 2 Cokes and a Sprite? Like, are you out of your mind? I get back to the resort and realize it's $5.20.
So Will played you. He played the fuck out of you.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, this is such a scam. I'm never leaving the resort ever again. Like, these people are scam artists, and I cannot. But yeah, no, it was fun. We had a really good time. We got upgraded to a swim up pool at our room. So literally just like go off the balcony and you're at a pool. You know, it's kind of hard coming back to the US and realizing that you have to wait on yourself and somebody else isn't waiting on you. It's a really humbling experience.
Yeah, I could see why. I wanted to take the boys there for spring break, but I think it's like, I don't know. I really don't want to go to San Antonio. My kids don't really want to go to San Antonio. We do go on a nice vacation once a year, and not that San Antonio is not nice, but, you know, they do like to go see the ocean and do all that stuff. So I think I'm going to look into it for our spring break. Definitely.
Well, when I was telling Jackson, like the week of spring break, kind of like leading into it before we left, we were on our way home from school, and I'm sure you do this with your kids too, just like have car conversations, and some of the things that come out of their mouth in the car, I feel like because they're confined, you can kind of have like more serious conversations with them. And some of the things that they say is just so funny. And Jackson was like, I'm really excited to go to Mexico. And I'm like, well, why are you so excited? Obviously, it's like a natural mom question. Like, you want to know like what they're most excited to do. And he's like, well, I need to be able to remember to bring my Bible because I'm going to spread the gospel. And I'm like, this is wonderful. So now I am also raising the next Billy Graham. So in case anybody is wondering, Jackson might be preaching in a few years. So
great.
Also, another funny story before I switch off of Mexico was I took Jackson in from the pool and gave him a shower. And when he got in, he was like, where's my sponge? And I'm like, well, we didn't bring a sponge. And you've been showering for like the past 4 days with no sponge. So why would you even ask for that? So I'm just like, whatever. So he's in the shower and I'm looking around and housekeeping didn't leave any washcloths. And I'm like, oh, great. Like he has nothing to wash his body with. He's going to probably be bitching. So I tell him in advance, I'm like, hey, listen, you need to get in there and you need to wash your body good and get all that sunscreen off. But housekeeping did not leave any washcloths. So make sure that you wash really good. Well, he's just like standing under the water and you can hear him like doing the soap. And he's like, well, Mom, what am I supposed to do about my crack? And I'm like, first of all,
Jackson.
What 6-year-old calls their ass a crack first and foremost?
I mean, he's not wrong though. What am I supposed to do about my crack?
He's not wrong. But he also asked me if his butt was broken because it has a crack in it.
Why did he ask you that? Oh, no, he didn't.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, first of all, there's two problems here. Your ass is not broken, but it's about to be. And two, just figure it out. Like there's been plenty of times that I've had to figure it out without a washcloth, buddy. Like just, I don't know what to tell you, but just figure it out. So if anybody has any experiences with your kids thinking that their ass is broken because it has a crack down the middle, let me know because I don't want to feel alone.
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to ask you about this, and it's something that I've been thinking about, and I always forget to talk about it. Hair cutting. So did you have a hair cutting experience when you were a little kid? Because I feel like either it doesn't happen a lot anymore or I just don't hear about it, or maybe kids are just smarter these days. But I definitely cut my hair on my own when I was a kid.
Oh, I definitely did. My mom worked at a hair salon. It was actually my aunt's hair salon that my mom worked at. And I went in the back, closed the door, and I cut my own hair.
I'm sure that looked good.
I feel like I got my ass beat for that.
Yeah, I feel like that was definitely something that you got in trouble for, like, in the day, you know? Like,
I definitely think I got beat for that.
I feel like times have changed so much because some of the things that we probably got spanked for in the day, and I say in the day like we're like 195 years old, things that we got spankings for, I feel like maybe kids don't get spankings for these days, and it's just stuff that you put on social media because parents think it's funny. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, that's what I was just about to say. Well, one, I think people don't talk about spanking or beating their kids when they're bad because it's taboo now.
Kale, that's excessive.
And illegal. Well, people got beat. Like, I remember Javi told me that he got, like, beat. You know what I mean? Like, my mom didn't punch me for it, but she definitely whooped my butt.
Yeah. I mean, you got to love
people don't admit to it. People don't admit to it now. It's illegal. I mean, it's probably illegal when we got it done to us. But people, I think because of social media and stuff like that, people are more aware of it, and then you get in trouble and whatever else. But also, I think people put it on social media for likes and retweets and to go viral. I don't think that they... I mean, should I have gotten my ass beat for cutting my own hair? I don't really know.
No, I really don't think so, because I also cut my hair, and I specifically remember it was when we were living in an apartment, and this was before my brother Chase was born, so it would have been like after my parents had divorced and my dad had started dating Julie. So, like, their relationship was probably pretty fresh. I think I was just, like, learning to sleep in my own bed. I was probably 5 or 6 years old, like Jackson's age. I definitely remember I was in kindergarten. And, yeah, I just remember standing in my mirror and using scissors and cutting my hair and not hiding it in my trash can, but hiding it under my trash can. And I'm not really sure, like, the thought process behind that, because obviously when my dad was going to vacuum, like, he was going to see hair because he would have lifted the trash can. So I don't really know why I did that. And it also was my bangs. So it's kind of like, what was I thinking? I cut my bangs to my scalp. So obviously he's going to know that I don't have fucking bangs anymore.
Wait, so I don't know what made me think of this. I think because you said that you hid it under the trash can.
Yeah.
Probably, I might have been like 7 or 8. My mom's friend had me try coconut and I didn't like it. But like I pretended to like it and then I went and I hid it under my bed and I think it stayed there for months.
Kill, are you a scam artist? Like you're like tricking people all the time.
Like an actual coconut, and I went and I put it, like, was my mom never going to look under my bed? I don't know.
Yeah, like what goes through like kids' minds? Also, I want to know what goes through adults' minds, but I really want to know what goes through kids' minds because the things that they think that they're going to get away with and we thought we were going to get away with, it's just kind of stupid. Like, why would I have thought cutting my bangs and hiding the hair underneath the trash can, and the fact that I went into the bedroom with a full set of bangs and went out with no bangs.
But first of all, why are we all cutting our own hair? Like, why do all children want to cut their own hair? Because I feel like, I'm pretty sure my little cousin cut his hair not that long ago. Like, why? Why are we all thinking the same thing?
It's just not a thing. Like, it should not be a thing. Why do we all think the same thing as a kid? I want answers. If you have a kid that has cut their hair, please share.
Tell us the story.
And also send us pictures because I want to see these whack jobs. I also hope that Jackson never hears this episode because then he'll try to cut his hair. So I would be mortified, to be perfectly honest.
Oh my gosh.
Mortified.
Could you imagine if Lux cut his hair?
Kill. I think that would be the thing that would send you over the edge.
I would literally fall over and die because I love his hair so much. And he doesn't fight me to do his hair. Like when I put it up or like, even if it's down, he might pull it out of like brush it out of his face. But like, he doesn't give me a hard time about even putting it up or anything. So like if he decided on a whim, he was just going to cut his own hair, I would, and not tell me. Like if he comes up to me and he's like, Mom, like I want a haircut. Like, okay, cool. We're going to take you to get a haircut. But I would be so sad. Or what if like Lincoln and Isaac decide to cut Lux's hair?
What would you do?
I would beat them. I think I would beat them.
But like really, like do you think that would even be a thing? Like the siblings cut each other's hair? Surely they do.
I think they do.
I feel like
surely
they do. I would literally have a panic. And also if you ever text me that, I would not respond because I know that you would be in such a foul mood. I couldn't handle it.
Right. Me neither.
I just want to know, like, please send pictures. Like, if you have a kid, I'm going to reiterate, if you have a kid that has cut their hair and it looked all wacky, please send us pictures because I want to see it. And if Jackson ever cuts his hair, I will be in hiding because I can't deal with stuff like that.
But his hair's so short.
I know, but I still can't. Short hair can still get jacked up.
True.
I can't deal with it. I would go into a panic. I wanted to bring up something, and this is like kind of more on a sad note. So I'm very sad about it. I know that a few episodes ago when we talked with Kareen, I had talked about my experience with postpartum OCD, and I just wanted to like be able to share a little bit more of that because I was so fearful. I thought like all the worst case things. And at this time I had just had Facebook. So I didn't have Instagram, didn't have Twitter. And I don't really know like when it was on Facebook that, you know, ads started popping up and stuff like that. But I want to say it was like, it probably was way before that time and it's probably been going on for a long time, but that's when I really started noticing it. And maybe that's just like part of the postpartum OCD. But I would notice things on Facebook that would pop up of like sick children. And I don't know if you've ever noticed it either, or if anybody who's listening has ever noticed it, but it really caused like so much anxiety for me because I had just had a baby and dealing with all of this anxiety. You see things and then automatically you think those things are going to happen to you. So that's like the best way that I can describe it. So I talked to Jackson's pediatrician about it, and he's like, the things that you're seeing, media blows things up way more, than what it is. So it's like less common than like what Facebook would make you think.
Right.
So I kind of would go through these things where I would be scrolling on Facebook and I would see, stuff pop up that would be articles about these GoFundMes of like sick kids and blah, blah, blah. And so I kind of went through a state where I would deactivate my Facebook and then be okay for like 2 weeks. And then I would reactivate it because, I would want to share pictures. I have a new baby. And then, kind of keep doing that, like where I would deactivate and whatever. And so I went to the doctor and talked about this, and she was like, you know what? The way to overcome fears is to fully immerse yourself into really getting to know about, like the types of things that you're afraid of. And so that's kind of when I got involved with the Children's Hospital in Atlanta. And that's how I met Lake's mom, Anna, who has been on the podcast before and shared her story. But I also met a lot of other children through that journey and through Love Your Melon. And I was on Facebook the other day. I was early for carpool. Yay me. And I was sitting in the carpool line and just scrolling on Facebook, and I saw a picture of a little boy that I was like, I know this kid from somewhere. And so I clicked on it, and sure enough, I had met this little boy. I believe it was on the same day that I met Lake. And he was back in the Children's Hospital. And he has relapsed, and he has leukemia.
Oh my gosh.
Is all over his body. So doctors are basically saying that they just want to ask for, prayers. And there is a trial that he would have been eligible for, but I think because of his blood counts and stuff like that, he's not a candidate for it. So really they're not giving up, but they're kind of like at the end of their road. And he does have siblings and parents that are definitely struggling with it. And I plan on going to see him in the coming weeks. But since he just started back his chemo, I'm sure he might not be able to have visitors right now just because of probably the dose of the chemo that he's on is probably like super high. He's probably super sick, and it's still so fresh to his family. I mean, even though they've been down this journey before and done all of this before and in and out of the hospitals, they thought he was, fine. So it is still so fresh. So if you guys are listening, if you believe, I just want to ask for you to pray for this little boy, his parents and his siblings. And if you don't, just please keep them in your thoughts, because I couldn't imagine being his parents, and I couldn't imagine being his siblings, and I couldn't imagine being him. So, I do plan on doing a visit with Anna. We're going to go and see him and spend some time with his mom. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated on it. So anyhow, switching gears a little bit though, I know that we always talk about crazy Florida news, and
oh my God.
I saw something on the internet that...
What did you see on the internet?
I'm ashamed to even say that I saw it.
Say it. Let's hear it.
Florida man believed he was half man, half dog.
Jesus Christ.
And honestly, the person kind of looks like a vampire. So maybe he just looks at himself and he's like, okay, maybe I'm something else. Like that.
I mean, sometimes I think that about myself, but why is it a Florida man? Was he on drugs or?
No. So apparently, this was a former college student. He believed he was half dog, half man. he fatally attacked a man and a woman in their home and was found biting one of their faces.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so 22 years old. He was making growling noises, and apparently he was being threatened to be shot and tased, and he received multiple kicks to the head, but he was actively psychotic, and clearly he's actively psychotic. Like, I don't think that you guys need to tell us that. But yeah, he is preparing his defense, which is insanity. So I'm just kind of like, you know what? I don't really think that's fair.
I don't think it's fair for someone who's clearly on drugs to claim insanity. That's not fair.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just kind of like, kind of think you're a scam. You know what I mean?
For sure. 100%.
You're just not, I don't know. I think
I'm not buying it.
It's not a thing. I'm not really buying it. Also, in other news, I wanted to talk to you about something that was very concerning to me, because obviously I get concerned about everything. But somebody
what the
had
hell are you
sent
about to say to me?
us a message about Wi-Fi causing cancer. Is this a thing?
I heard that, like, the radio, I don't know if it's Wi-Fi specifically, but just like the radio frequency, radioactivity, you know, that we're using so close, and you're sleeping with your phone by your pillow, and then every time, your phone goes off or whatever, your computer, blah, blah, blah. That's why they say not to put your laptop on your lap while you're pregnant, or on your stomach while you're pregnant.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't even know that. So,
and like, just like having your phone by your ear, at this point, the way that we treat ourselves and the way that we treat the universe and the way that we're doing all this technological, all that stuff, like, it's all going to cause cancer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this message said, "Hey guys, love the show. I just started last week and I'm almost caught up. First off, kudos to you, because it's a lot of episodes. It's nice to listen to a podcast that talks about real life mom issues. Also, I'm a lot like Lindsay when it comes to germs and schedules, and it's also nice to hear I'm not the only one who is like that, because people make fun of me so much for it. But on that topic, I was wondering what you both thought about this whole Wi-Fi causing cancers and kids playing with iPads and stuff likely to get cancer. It's freaking me out, and I try not to let it bother me, but that's kind of who I am, unfortunately. Thanks, guys." So I don't really have much to say about it because I don't know a ton about it, but I didn't even know that, like, the thing about the laptops, but I don't even think I was using a laptop and cell phones and stuff that much whenever I was pregnant. I was just kind of like off the grid, if you know what I mean. I was like one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a thing.
So if anybody knows any more information about that, please send it to our direct messages, because I want to read on it, even if you have like an article or whatever, and then I'll do some of my own research because I'm super interested now. But I think that's all we have time for today.
Awesome.
All right, guys, I think that's all we have time for today. So if you have not subscribed to us, you can do that by searching the Purple Podcast app on your iPhone, typing in Coffee Convos, click subscribe, click the 5th star, and you can also leave us a written review. We love to read those. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.